Hi guys, welcome back to Art is Fun, and today we're going to have a go at doing an oil painting. I'm going to paint some lovely mountains and some trees and a bit of water. I'm going to call this painting Majestic Mountains. So let's get started. First I'll show you what we need for the project. Right, so we've got our board up here on a stand. It's got to be something that's fairly firm and steady, okay, when you have your painting set up like that to paint. We've got our selection of brushes here, a couple of fan brushes, very important when we're painting the lovely trees. We've got the bigger, wider brushes for painting the sky and the water and the background. Our oil paints today, I'll go through the colours that we've got here. We've got white, we've got black. I don't think I'll be using the black, but it's there in case I need to darken something. We've got the crimson red, lemon yellow, cobalt blue, sap green, cod red, light hue, and burnt umber. So those are the colours I'll be working with today. But the first thing I'm going to do is put some white oil paint, a white wash over the board so it's nice and wet and slick. I'm going to do most of the painting while that's wet. So the colours just sort of melt in and flow in together. Right, just a white wash over the whole board. Right, so the whole board is quite wet now, and just touch it. See a little bit of white come off on your finger. It's not dripping and pouring, it's just damp. And that'll help our colours just sort of blend in and mould together really nicely. Okay, we're going to start adding a little bit of blue in for the sky now. So we'll take a little bit of blue here. And we'll just start brushing it in like this. Coming on down here. Right, I'm just going to add to this blue just a slight little bit of green here, just a touch. It's a very strong colour, so I'm just going to add a little bit of green into this blue, not too much, just a touch. Okay, so I'm going to start putting a little bit of water in here. I'm going to start coming down here. It's going to come from the outside in towards the centre. Remember, the board is wet, so it all sort of moulds in very nicely. Just stroke it in like that, so that it fades off in towards the centre of the board. That little dot there is where the sun's reflecting through the light shade at the window. But that's our base done. Now with a clean dry brush, I'm just going to lightly brush over what I've done, and that'll just blend it in, and it will help hide any brush marks or brush stroke marks. Just sort of blend it in so that very softly, lightly, see, just two fingers, very soft, just lightly brushing over it, just sort of takes away any brush marks and just blends it in so that it looks nice and fluffy, nice and soft. Right, so now I'm going to take some white here, going to mix in just a slight little bit of red, okay? I don't want it pink or anything like that, just a very slight little bit of white there, just red, just a little sort of take off the edge of the starkness of the white. A very, very soft brush. Right, we're going to put some little floaties in, some little floaty clouds, okay? So we'll start up here and we'll just dash around like that, little dabs. Just make some little dabs like that. Do some over here. Just dabbing the brush. You can put as many in as you want, wherever you want, really. There's no right or wrong. Just sort of swirl the brush around, dab it. Maybe some over here, some over here. Now we'll come in with another brush that's clean. I've just given this a bit of a wash and a wipe with thinners. If you can get odorless thinners, it's really good, but I couldn't find them, so I've just got the normal thinners there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to give this a sort of a wipe over, just to sort of soften everything, really. A few little upstrokes to sort of make the clouds appear more fluffy. And just a few little wipes, very, very gentle, very, very soft. We're just sort of blending in all the really soft, wet paint, really. Right, so we're going to put some mountains on the canvas now. So I've got one of these tools. I've changed tools, and I've just taken a little bit of black, a little bit of blue, a little bit of crimson red, mixed it in together here, and we can use this to put our mountains on the scene there. Right, so now I'm going to try and scrape off the excess paint. So there's not much paint on these mountains at all. Take off the excess paint, and I'm going to get a dry brush and just stretch this out. Stretch this paint out down the bottom. So it sort of fades out, gets lighter down the bottom, and sort of gives the impression that there's fog and there's mist down the bottom of the mountains here. Just let it sort of fade right out. Just pulling the paint from the top down. And then we'll just go across this way and just sort of blend it in. Just sort of blend it in with the white at the bottom, so it gets very light at the bottom. Okay, time to put some snow on these beautiful majestic mountains. So I've just got some titanium white here. I'm just going to put it on my knife. Put it on my knife. Now I'm just going to drag the knife down from the top, just very, very lightly, and that will lay snow on the mountains for us here. coming down ever so lightly. It's just touching and that's all. It's putting snow on the mountains as we just drag it down towards the bottom there. Just dragging it very lightly, softly towards the bottom. Right, so let's bring this here. This one will come right over in front of that mountain, giving us quite a bit of extra depth. As it comes down. Right, so I've just made another shade of this blue, add a little bit of red and a bit more white, and that sort of allowed me a nice colour to build shadows. So I figured out you sort of figure out where the sun is coming. You got to make that decision. What side is the sun coming in from? Right, so we take a dry, relatively clean brush and we're just going to blend this in at the bottom. So it looks like we've got fog and mist and it looks very, very soft at the bottom here. So it just all sort of blends in nicely. Just lift the brush like that. Lift it up and sort of flick it up so it looks very, very soft and misty. There we go, and there we have our lovely majestic mountains at the back there. Right, I've mixed in this funny old colour here now. It's crimson red, some green and some white. So I've mixed that in there. I want a nice sort of a paley, greeny, greyishy sort of colour. So I've mixed that up. Now I'm going to use this brush, guys. This is a round brush, quite a bushy round brush. So I'm going to do some dabbing with that. And we're going to put some foothills at the bottom of our mountain. Okay, so just using this round, soft, fluffy brush, I'm just going to dab it. Just going to dab it like this. And you get all sorts of interesting, nice shapes coming up here for our foothills. Just like that. All sorts of amazing little shapes sort of evolve and make themselves as you just dab this round brush onto the canvas here. Now the foothills here with the trees and all the bushes and everything on it is quite a light colour. But as you come forward, the colours need to get darker, become more sharp. So I'm going to put another set of foothills coming down over here with trees and bush, and that's going to be a little bit darker, bolder in colour than the ones far in the distance. Okay. What I'm going to do now is use a clean dry brush. I'm just going to soften the colours under these foothills because I want it to look sort of quite misty and mysterious. So just want to soften these colours really and just sort of do a bit of blending so it looks nice and soft at the bottom there. Just like so. Now we can take the other colour that I mixed up that is a little bit stronger and we can paint some more foothills with trees and bush in the foreground, a little bit closer to you than this one, which means the colour needs to be a little bit darker. Just dab it. That's all. You don't have to be Michelangelo, guys. It's not rocket science, you know. Anyone can paint. Now I'm going to use the dry brush again, and we're going to smooth that off at the bottom and just blend it in nicely. Now, as you can see, the foothills at the back are quite light and pale and misty, and then the ones in the foreground closer are getting bolder and stronger, and then I've got some other little foothills coming down from the left here, also a little bit bold and strong as well. And you can just see the mist and the fog over the back coming up through those foothills and the mountain. Okay, so down here is basically water, so we want to add reflections of these trees, the near trees. We want to add reflections in the water. So this is what we do, guys. It is so easy. What we'll do is we'll just brush down like this. And you brush down more where the trees are taller, and don't brush down much where the trees are shorter. I told you it's so easy, guys. I can teach you all this, and we can learn all this, and you would be doing paintings like this absolutely in no time. It's just all technique and practice. Now we take another brush and we go across this way to give the impression of the water. There we go, there's the impression of the water, and we have the reflections there as well. Okay, so now we need to add a shoreline along the bottom of these trees on the edge of the lake. So we'll use some white. So we put it on our palette knife, and we're going to make lines across this way for the shoreline. We're basically cutting using the edge of the knife there. And put another little shoreline in here. Back there. Another fine one along there. And we'll do some others here. Just using that edge blade there to cut. And that gives the impression of the shoreline. Alright, next guys, we're going to put a couple of big evergreens up here, some little big evergreen trees. So let's start that. We'll just start with a flick there. And then we'll come down just dabbing like that with our fan brush. And this will give us our beautiful evergreen trees. Just come down like that, and we might have another one up here. This one's a little bit taller. He's been here a few more years. Come down like that with our evergreen tree. Okay, now I've gone back to my round brush again, and I'm going to make a different type of tree. I've added a little bit of yellow to the green paint, and we're going to do a different kind of tree up here. Some big round sort of bushy trees. And these will come right down here. It's going to sort of come over to the front. It's going to push the lake into the sort of the background there, really. So we'll come in there like that. And remember, as the trees get closer to the front, they can get a little bit darker. Just dab it around, get some three-dimensional sort of feeling going by bringing that form one in. Adding a little bit of blue to the green. Right, so what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to add some leaves, okay, to all these bushes and trees up here. We're going to add some nice colour and some leaves. So I've still got the green mixed up here, but I'm adding a bit of yellow. Adding a bit of yellow. And I'm just going to start dabbing, okay? Just going to start dabbing like this. Coming around over here. Start dabbing these more yellowy sort of leaves on there. Just sort of dabbing it. Don't cover up your dark spots, okay? Those dark spots are very important. But you're just sort of dabbing it to get the effect of the leaves. Even more yellow than that. Use that just to add the highlights. Just scraping the canvas really. Give it a few twigs, scraping it to give the impression of branches and twigs and things like that. Right, well, I'm going to do something different with this. It could be just another boring old landscape, but I'm going to make it special. I'm going to make it mine, and that's what you can do when you're painting or when you're drawing. You can do something that is you. You don't have to stick tradition. You don't have to stick to tradition and all the rules and regulations and what a scene should look like. You can add your own touches and make it special to you. Since I'm a camper, in fact I make camper vans, I love to go camping out in the big wilderness and enjoying the lovely scenery. I'm going to put a little guy out here on a canoe. I'm going to say that's me. That's me, out on the lake in a canoe on a beautiful day under the snow-capped mountains. What a great experience that would be. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's get crazy. Right, well, Leonardo da Vinci once said, a painting is never ever finished. It's merely abandoned. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I could keep fiddling with it for hours. I'm going to abandon it and call it finished. Just going to scribble my name on the right hand corner there. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Let's have a look. I did put something special into the painting, but you've got to look hard to actually see it. Right, there we go, guys. There's me out in my kayak, paddling on the beautiful crystal clear calm waters of the lake. of course I had to get there somehow, and I drove my camping van. So parked in the woods there, not too far away, is my little KVM Freedom camping van. You gotta have a bit of fun, guys. You've gotta have a bit of fun. Add your own flavor to it. Add something special just to make it yours. And of course, don't forget to sign it down the bottom, which I need to do. Right, if you like that video, guys, leave a like or a comment, or even better still, come along to some art classes. Don't say, oh, I don't have any talent, guys. Anyone can paint, in particular this style, the Bob Ross style. Come along. I will help you, I will teach you, and within a few months, either you or your children could be doing paintings like this, or even better. I'll leave my contact details down below. Happy painting, happy drawing, and thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers.